80% of our method of learning bachata is based on the free interpretation of the music. So we need to make sure we learn how to listen to the music properly and how to pick the nuances of the syncopations and the breaks. You are now listening to a very typical contemporary bachata. The first thing which hits our ears when we listen to bachata is the very peculiar way in which the guitar plays. The player wears a pick only in his thumb and hits the strings quite decisively to create a sort of staccato, which gives a sharp sense of rhythm. While the singer sings, the guitar usually performs fast arpeggios. And then frees itself in very rhythmic solos, which are usually also based on variations of the arpeggios. All this is what reaches our ears most noticeably. However, the core of the rhythm lies in two percussion instruments, the güiro and the bongo. It is on this that our dancing should focus, because the rhythm they play is very rich, full of syncopations, decorations and variations. Unlike in salsa, in which percussion instruments usually follow a quite well-determined pattern, leaving to other instruments the duty of the arrangement, in bachata, most variations are left to the percussion. We start easy, from the bongo. Here we have isolated the bongo from the rest of the song. The most basic pattern follows exactly the basic steps. 3 high notes for the 3 steps, and 1 low note for the tap. Nothing could be easier. However, at times it may be harder to recognize such a simple pattern when all the instruments play together. We have chosen a few examples for you. Play them a few times and try to recognize the basic bongo rhythm in them. Of course, this pattern is not maintained for the full extent of the song, and the bongo player will take the freedom to decorate, especially by adding syncopations, as we hear in these examples. Listen to them a few times and look for the bongo decorations. The güiro is there to remind us that bachata belongs to the same family as merengue. In case you're not familiar with it, here is how a güiro sounds. This is the sound you need to look for in the music. The güiro is the instrument most responsible for the change in energy and mood in the different parts of a song. For example, listen to these clips carefully and pay attention to how the güiro pattern changes and how this affects the feel of the music. Here it marks double time, marks regular time. Here it changes rhythm again. Here it marks double time. Here it marks regular time. With so much freedom, the sound needs a stable guide, and so do some beginner dancers. To our aid comes the bass. Finally, a regular and simple pattern. The bass plays a long note on the 1, which helps us to clearly identify the beginning of the bar of music. It skips the beat 2, which it replaces with a syncopation on the and 2, and then it plays on beats 3 and 4. When we mark our basic steps then, we pay attention to the start of the long note, the 1, which is our first step. We step on the 2, ignoring the syncopation on the and 2. We use the 3rd note for the 3rd step, and we use the 4th note, beat 4, for the tap. Pay attention to it. You will notice that the clearly marked 2nd and 3rd notes create a strong emphasis on the beat number 4, a clear accent, giving the sensation that we need to stop for a short instant. We will soon discover how to make the most of this feeling in our dance.